I told everybody, I mean, I was on with the wonderful Malika Andrews, or our halftime show on
Love
Twitter.
Malika.
Yeah, she's the best. And,
Excellent.
you know, she was talking to me, and she asked me during halftime, is there anything to worry about here? Anything to worry about? Consider. I said, nothing at all. Nothing at all. I watched the Brooklyn Nets one day play against the Los Angeles Clippers and score. I mean, I went to the kitchen to grab a drink and came back, and they had erased the like 5-point deficit and was up like 13. I mean, this is who they are, okay? I wasn't worried about it at all. Boston just doesn't have enough weapons. And when you have the big three playing the way that they're capable of, I mean, it's pretty hard to imagine anybody stopping them. They came out a bit tight. They were hyped and stuff like that, a little bit tight. But in the end, here's the thing that we have to say about the Brooklyn Nets that cannot go unnoticed. The big three knows it's about them. They win, it's because of them. They lose, it's because of them. Nobody's going to bring up Mike D'Antoni. Nobody's going to bring up Steve Nash. Nobody's going to bring up Joe Harris or anybody else, okay? They're going to bring up the big three. Everybody knows that. So when we understand that, to watch them play, I'm watching their communication with one another. You understand? Their selflessness with one another. These brothers are focused. They're locked in. They ain't playing. And they coming to take people out. We knew they were going to do that anyway to the Boston Celtics, but when you watch everybody else in the playoffs go through some things, and then you look at Brooklyn, they just look at each other and they're communicating with each other, and then they just put their head, they take their chin, and they tuck it down to their chest, and they just look at each other and they're like, let's go. And that's what you saw Saturday night. I expect a sweep in this series. I don't expect the Boston Celtics to win a single game, and it is because somehow, some way, these brothers, I don't think it's going to come down to one of them saving the day each game. I think that they're so locked in together that collectively, as a dynamic trio, not to take anything away from Blake Griffin, Joe Harris, and others, but as a dynamic trio, they're so locked in such a way that annihilation is what's on their mind. I actually think game one was an aberration. I think it's going to look a lot worse in game two for Boston.
First of all, I like the Nets in 3. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I think Boston has no chance.
I laughed quicker this time. I got it.
Boston has no chance. And what you really want to get a laugh, check social media at halftime in a game like that. Oh, the haters come out about the Nets. Oh, where's your big three now? I'm thinking, it's not even worth responding.
Boston fans are the best.
But like even just Nets haters, like, you know what's about to happen? The first half was real simple. KD was trying to get himself going, and he was getting pretty good looks. But when the basketball gods have a way of punishing teams where it's ISO, take a shot, ISO, take a shot, right? And they really weren't a cohesive unit first half. It was a lot of ISO. KD would bring the ball up. Sometimes there'd be no passes. And, you know, he's 7 feet tall. He can shoot the lights out. He'd shoot it, wouldn't go in. A lot of guys they were getting decent looks, not going in, not moving the ball. Boston was moving the ball real well and everything and hitting shots. And then everything Stephen A. said was right, especially when James Harden checked back into the game. I forgot why he was out, but he checks back in. The offense get a little more organized, and the Nets take off. Here's the scary thing, Stephen A. What was the final score? 104-93?
Yeah.
Not the worst Nets defense I've ever seen, right? Like, even on a day where everything's not clicking right away and they're kind of like waking up and figure, oh, yeah, we're down a few points. Okay, let's take care of this. Their defense was not so bad. And all the Nets defense has to be is not so bad. If the Nets defense is not so bad, and they're healthy, I don't think they can lose. And that's what I saw. And Harden came in, organized the offense. It was over.
I felt bad. Like yesterday morning, I had to fly to Boston and then drive to Brockton, Massachusetts. The memorial service for Marvin Hagler took place. He would have turned 67 yesterday. And, you know, obviously you're honoring him and you're paying homage to the greatness that he exhibited, but it's also semi-sad because he's not there any longer, you know. And I brought all of that up to say I didn't want to put people in the worst mood, but they kept coming up to me because it's right outside of Boston, and they're asking me the chances of the Boston Celtics. Like, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? I mean, they said, come on, Stephen A., we got a chance, man. I mean, no, you don't. Yeah. No, you don't. I mean, listen.
You should have said maybe you'll get Julio Jones.
Yeah, maybe, right?
Bill
I should've said that. I
Belichick's
said,
trying.
you know what? I was talking to a few people about Bill Belichick and the Patriots just to distract them
that was nice.
from the misery that
They're not that
Boston
good either,
Celtics
though.
would bring. They will be this year, though. But I'm just saying, I mean, I'm looking at them and I'm like, okay, let's talk about the Patriots because you have a chance, okay? You have a chance. You got people that's coming back that didn't play last year because they passed up the season because they didn't want to deal with COVID and stuff like that. I expect the Patriots to make the playoffs this year. I had to change the subject to football because the people in Boston and outside of Boston, because you know one of my favorite spots is the Liberty Hotel. They got beautiful restaurants.
Great.
Yeah,
The
yes.
hotels is fantastic.
I do love that.
So I went there to eat breakfast, and you got people coming up to me, and I'm like, look, man, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
You have no chance.
That's a little underground
You
cave.
have no
too.
chance.
Don't feel that sorry for them. Do you know how many parades that city has had?
I'm just
unreal.
saying. I'm just saying. You know.
They churn
they bring
out
up-
championships.
if they bring up the Celtics in the
Dynasty
Nets.
after dynasty.
I was just trying to look out. I was
Bring
just trying
up
to
John
look
the Beast Mugabe or something.
I'm just trying to
distract them somehow.
Somehow.
With some haggler
I
talk.
mean, that's right. I mean, Hearns was there. Hearns was there.
there
Hearns
you
was
go.
there. Bernard Hopkins was there. But I'm just saying that you just look at it and it's like, come on, Al Bernstein, the great Al Bernstein was there. All of these people was there.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking at them and I'm like, you got no shot. Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah.
And I was just,
That's how you feel.
You're trying to
when
be
you talk about
nice.
his Knicks,
You're trying to be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but
no.
see, he's switching just like that. Now he's back.
Oh, it's not like that?
Not with Atlanta.
Oh.
Not with Atlanta. Now, if they were going against Brooklyn,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
that's
just
different.
messing
Not
with
with Atlanta. Not with Atlanta. They got a shot. I picked the Knicks to win this series in 7 games.
Yeah. Are you going to Atlanta?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm
you
going there
are.
Thursday night. The New York's in the
I don't
building.
know. Are you the
New
black
York's
cat
in the
running
building.
around? Ever
New York's in
since
the
you
and I
started
love
going to
and
Knicks
listen.
games.
I love the ATL.
Else.
The ATL has been very, 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 very good to me. But the point is, I'm going down there for business. Okay? The New York's in the house. We taking over Phillips Arena. Watch the Knicks fans in the
Sad.
New York's in the
Sad.
building. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.